I did an episode recently sharing 25 brutally honest mortgage business lessons, and the response was incredible. So I thought, let's do another one. This time we're diving into 12 hard-hitting lessons about hiring that every mortgage broker needs to hear. If you think that hiring an admin will fix your chaos, it won't. And these lessons could save you serious money and serious stress. Let's do it. So the first one we have is hiring an admin won't save your business, structure will. So chaos gets louder when you add people without systems. So this is something I see many advisors do, is what they do first of all is they start to think that they're really busy because they are really busy. They start to generate leads and they're starting to get clients in, and maybe they're not great with administration themselves and they're struggling with compliance. And so what they do is they say, I need to hire an admin, or sometimes even I need to get admin support. Maybe I'm going to outsource my admin and bring someone in that way. But that's absolutely fine. And it seems like a good idea at first, except what you really should be doing is fixing your systems first. Most brokers I speak to, their systems are really quite poor. And because of that, their whole process slows down. And so they feel way more worked than they need to be. Now, realistically, you can be doing 10 mortgages a month without any administration help at all, with the right system and process in place. So what I would advise you do is you make sure you focus on getting your systems solid, so that then once that's solid and you've saved time, you've streamlined everything, then and only then should you then start thinking about bringing in some form of administrative help. Plus, it's going to make it much easier because you'll be able to delegate what you need them to do. You can hand over those tasks. So the first thing there, make sure you're hiring and bring an admin when you've actually optimized systems, not before. Next one we have is automation should come before people. If you can streamline it, you don't staff it. So this is a follow-on to what we said about the processes, but automating your business is going to allow you to speed things up without that staffing cost. There are many things, for example, Calendly is one of those, just a simple one. A booking link like Calendly, that's like basic level stuff. You can go all the way up to automating so much of it. You can automate in the follow-up sequences. You can even automate in a lot of the administration, depending on the software you use, things like Go High Level. There's lots of different things out there that you can use in order to automate your business to its maximum capacity. But just start automating first. If it can be automated, don't be paying someone to do it. Learn the automation, because that gives you the skill set to be able to automate more tasks. What you'll find is once you've learned how to do one, you can probably do one, then two, then three, then four. These are skills that are valuable to you. I do see brokers often that outsource the automation side of it. So I'm like, oh, I just want someone to come and set up my Go High Level, or I want someone to come and set up my software. Don't be that person. You go and actually learn how to do it, because my entire career success has purely been down to the fact that I am literally willing to learn something new. And so then the skills stack. And now I'm able to do so many things: produce a podcast, run a business, do pretty much everything. I don't have a member of staff working for me. I'm a one-man band completely, but because of that I'm able to be nimble and I still manage everything. So automation is a huge part of that. Next brutal truth we have here is a bad hire costs more than no hiring. It's better to be understaffed than overburdened by the wrong person. It is really bad if you have the wrong type of person in your business, especially as a lean, small, budding mortgage business. So in other words, that small kind of one-man band advisor, and then bringing an administrator in, someone to support you. If they are a bad fit, it is going to hemorrhage cash. It's going to drain at your profit. And the problem with this, and it's a big one, is most mortgage businesses don't have that profit to begin with, or not enough to pay somebody if they're not going to actually perform. So don't bring somebody in and have a bad hire and think I need to keep them, for example. Don't think that, it's better sometimes if you get a bad feeling for somebody. You're better off being like on your own and bumbling through it than you are bringing on just anyone. And we see people do this a lot. You need the right person, because the wrong person is going to slow everything down. Which brings me to this one, which is don't hire for potential, hire for performance. Potential is a gamble, results are bankable. So often we'll go and hire our friends. We'll say, you know what, I'll bring this person on. Or I've got my friend down the road, or a family member, or something like that. Mortgage administration, and we're going to talk about administration. It's not actually admin. There's different roles within this. So we have power planning, we have customer service. We define these roles, and they're all different roles. And the issue that people do is, if you're not hiring somebody that's got some sort of proven track record, or that you think that they can show that they've done that thing in some way or capacity. It doesn't mean they have to have been a mortgage broker or worked in a mortgage brokerage, but if they've got that experience of customer service, back end offices, or administration, or power planning in some capacity, that's going to be a much better move for you. And it's better to pay them a bit more than it is to try and go to someone who goes, I think they've got potential. Potential is not a good game, in my opinion, when you're bringing people on in your small business. Now, of course, if you wanted to scale a large business, you can take that gamble because you've got the available profit to be able to do that. Then that is a different matter. But when you're a one-man band advisor, and you're bringing on your first hire, or maybe you're bringing on your second hire or your third hire, whatever it may be, you're still small, and so you can't afford to just be throwing it out to try and help people. Your business is not a charity. It's about creating the right type of person, or about having the right type of person in your business now. It's really, really brutal. I know that people don't like that. It's a hard one to think about, but it is what needs to be done. When you are running the business, your job is to be the person making the call that's going to be the best for the business, not just for everybody else's career, but really the business has to come first. Next one we have is not all busy work is worth delegating. Some tasks aren't worth anyone's salary. So this is an interesting one, because you see a lot of people who'll talk about this where they get rid of the work that you don't want to be doing. There is some work that is just not worth paying someone to do. And again, this is not targeted at large businesses. This is like small, up to about a team of 5, 1 to a team of 5. There are some things you do that if you just didn't want to do that, you didn't do it, and you paid someone else to do it, it is genuinely not cost effective. And a lot of those times, if you're bringing people on to do those tasks because you don't really want to do them, you are actually wasting money. And you do hear this thing where it says, well, that gives you more time to see clients. But truthfully, unless you are, and I do have a couple of clients who are in this category, so who are this type of like rare example, unless you are seeing clients back to back to back to back, your chances are you can probably do a lot of those small those small kind of nominal tasks throughout the day. We all can. I do. And so there's no way you can't either. Those things you like just need to ping that off, sit up. Oftentimes you do see this where I think business owners, mortgage brokers, they want to try and become a business owner in their mind. And so what they do is they delegate stuff. They go, I don't need to do that anymore. And then you're paying somebody to do crap, really. If you're going to bring someone on, bring them on to do a good job and that pushes the business and pushes revenue. But if they are just like doing like really boring, like random stuff that really you don't need to do. Like, and again, this is not a popular opinion, but it is my opinion. If there's things that are just boring administrative tasks, just sit down on a weekend and do it. Just get over yourself and do it. At the beginning, again, 2 to 5 team member. You do that work. You're still going to be the main driver of that business between those type of numbers. And I've got advisors. The largest company I work with has 50 employees, 50. Most of them, though, are between, like I say, between 1 and 5. And I've got quite a few of them who are in the kind of 10 to 15 range. One of them, like I say, is a very large company, or like SME, but still pretty large. But the majority of you in that 1 to 5, you really do have the business owner leading that drive and doing the lion's share of the work. And I think if you delegate out everything purely because you don't want to do it because you watched too many Alex Hormozy videos, chances are you're paying money for someone that you could just do whilst watching a bit of Netflix in the evening on a Saturday. Next thing we have is a marketing assistant is not your first hire. Nail your conversions and client processes before worrying about lead volume. This speaks to most things in business anyway, within my mortgages, is when I work with clients now, and this has changed massively from when I first started, when I work with clients now, we don't look at marketing for like 6 months to sometimes even a year. And the reason why, even if the client comes in, they're like, I want to do it, most of the time we don't. And the reason why is because you are sat on the biggest gold mine of your business is your current leads. It's your current process, what you have. And when you got to maximize the value of that, I call it the buckets. It's like a leaky bucket. So when I see at businesses, they'll come in, they've got this bucket, and that bucket has got holes in it and it's pouring water out. And so our job as a coach, as a consultant, is to look at your business and go, cool, we need to plug those holes and get that bucket to its maximum potential. Only from then would you then look at increasing lead volume, which is marketing, really. Now, if you're looking at hiring to do this, you don't have to hire to do this. Sometimes you might do it yourself. But if you're looking to hire and you're one of those people who wants to have business like a team, which some people don't, but if you do, then the hires you should be looking at is hires like a power planner and a customer services assistant or customer service manager. You want those 2 people way before you have a marketing person. So if you're paying somebody to do your marketing, and I see this a lot of time as well, if you're paying someone to have a marketing person at a very high cost and you don't necessarily need that cost right now, you're better off putting that into current business than you are into trying to get new business. Fix the problem. And those hires, potentially, focus on scaling your business with what you have. If you focus on scaling what you have, you'll do better. If you focus on trying to just constantly get new stuff in, you're just going to burn yourself out. And that's where you hear all these people say, I have no time. And they have no time because they're doing mediocre results with high volumes of mediocre clients. And instead, what we want is small amount of high quality clients getting absolutely phenomenal results. That's going to give you the work-life balance and the income that you want. And then you can scale it however you want, as a one-man band team, as a small team, as a large team, however you want to do it. But get that right first. Fix the problems in the business before you look at the lead generation. Hiring before you can afford it will sink your business. Growth should fund hiring, not your gut feelings. I have seen this one happen too many times. I've had clients have had this happen to, sadly, where people feel like they need admin help. I see it and they'll say, I need some admin help, or I need a protection advisor to come in and deal with my protection, or whatever it may be. The turnover and the profit, more importantly, the profit does not actually warrant that higher. That's what is telling you it. If you are too busy, but the profit is not there, the income is not there, the revenue is not there, then you have a problem. It's not a hiring problem, it's a you problem. And yet, we see people do that. In my opinion, you shouldn't be bringing people on until you're doing 150 grand a year. 150,000 is my kind of personal opinion for when you should start bringing somebody in. Between 100 and 150, depending on obviously your geographic location. If you're more south, probably more like 150. If you're more up north and they're in, like, say, cheaper house prices, then maybe around 100 because of the volume of clients you're going to be doing. So that is when you look at those things. But if you are sub that number, truth is, you actually can't afford to do it. And you might say, I can afford to do it, but you shouldn't be paying, you can't. And it's one of the reasons actually why I won't take people on. I won't take clients on. Very rarely, I have kind of like a line where now you can't book a discovery call with me unless your business is turning over 50,000. Most of my clients are doing 100 to 150. That's kind of when I normally work with them. But when I find them, not they do more than that once we work together, but that's kind of when we normally would work together. But 50 is that cutoff for me. And the reason is because you shouldn't really be bringing in a coach if you have not got enough money to pay for the coach. You shouldn't be doing social media courses and marketing courses and business courses with any of my competitors unless you are turning over, in my opinion, at least 50 grand. And the reason why is because you haven't got the money. You are taking money off your table to feed yourself. You need to learn to get good. And once you cross that 50K, in my opinion, then you can start to invest. At that point, then that you're going to start to, what's got you there. You now can start to invest in the business and start to grow, because there's enough money, should be anyway, depending on your lifestyle, enough money for everybody to kind of do a good day's work and still get paid for that. And I think that's important. And that's the same thing when it comes to hiring and scaling. I do think this is overlooked, significantly overlooked in our industry and within the space, is that we all think we need administration and we're all told it's hard work being a broker, admin. No, it's not. It's not hard work. Everybody else is mediocre. Don't listen to them. Listen to good people. And the good people are figuring out ways to get it done. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I've got many advisors who do 200, 250 on their own, without any team members. So if they can do it, I'm telling you this, if they can do it, so can you. 100% so can you. Maybe it's just facing something you don't like. Maybe it's looking at it and going, I actually don't like doing the admin, but I'm going to learn. If you can do that, if you can be that and face yourself with that, you will do well. But that's probably the biggest thing. Do not hire because your gut tells you should, because it's probably going to be wrong. Now, this is one of my favorite ones, and it's actually one of my core parts of my job that I teach people and coach people within clients is hire for specific roles, not vague ones. So we call it power planner. So whether it's a power planner, client care, or advisor, clarity creates accountability. Favorite things, and it's part of the Mortgage Business Mastery System, which is what we call the staff enhancement. It's the kind of, there's the 8 steps of the Mortgage Business Mastery System, and there's what we call the staff enhancement, which is the bit that you do to scale. And the staff enhancement, you can see this on my YouTube channel. If you search for staff formula, it'll come up. All my masterclasses is in there, and I break that down in detail. But interestingly with this, in the mortgage industry, we all seem to just hire, and I've said it on this, and I've purposefully said it up to this point on this reason, is we hire admins. But we do not hire admins. And we're going to kill that word now. That's like a done. And I've been using it purposely because I knew this one was in it. But from now on, we need to hire for specific roles. And in this work, as a broker, there are 3 roles. There is a business owner, which is separate. That's a person that's the operator. But outside of the operator, in the day-to-day, there are 3 roles. You have customer care, you have advice, which is sales, and you have paraplanning, which is back office, back end. Now, those are 3 roles. When you start off as an advisor, you do all 3. Customer care is everything at the front end. It's talking to clients, progressing the cases through on the client end, all of that. The sales and advice is obviously the regulated thing that you do, and that's you being a mortgage advisor. And then the paraplanning is the research. It's the administration. It's the compliance. It's all that stuff. These are 3 roles. They are 3 hats that you wear as a business owner. When you are hiring somebody and you want to scale your business, you need to understand these roles. And this is the mistake that people make. They come in and they hire an admin, and that means nothing. What does admin mean? It doesn't mean anything. And then you get annoyed with your admin because they don't do the things you want them to do, because you want them to do a little bit of paraplanning and a little bit of customer care. What you don't realize is they're two very different things. One, back end, is going to be a very detail-oriented, introverted individual who likes to do the paperwork, who likes research, who likes that stuff. They're naturally not going to be very comfortable getting on phone calls, chasing people, maybe even sales. They're going to be more of an email person. They're going to be a detail-focused person. A customer care person, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. They're going to be bubbly, friendly, extroverted. They're going to be an extroverted person who wants to chat and be the face of your business. And this is the mistake you get. If you hire a paraplanner, but you're getting them to pre-call your calls, they're not going to like that. If you hire a customer care person, but you're getting them to do the back-end research, they're not going to like that either. And you might sit there and say, Ash, I don't care because I employ them, they're my employee. Well, if you feel that way, then you need a massive wake-up call, because that's a crap way to be. You've got to think about it this way. Your job is, when you hire someone, you don't hire someone to take on 2 roles. You are doing 3 roles. You hire someone to take on 1 role, and you now drop down to 2. So if you are somebody who naturally likes to be a salesperson, or no salesperson, but customer care, and you don't really like the administration, the back end stuff, then you hire a paraplanner. And now you just do customer care and you just do sales. Or if you are somebody who absolutely loves the research and the back end stuff, but you really don't want to be talking to people and chasing things, and you just really want to be sat in front of people and have them talk to you for the advice, but then they deal with somebody else, then you're more introverted, then you hire a customer care person. And you do the other 2. And then guess what? As time goes on, you hire for the other one. And now you have a team of 3. And at this point, then a team of 2. So you've got you in the middle as sales, because you're regulated and you're the only person who can do that at this point. And then you have paraplanner on one side and you have customer care on the other. That's your dream team. That's the dream team of an advisor. But you need to know the roles. Also, if you want to, then what you can do is, as time goes on, if you want to bring on somebody else, you can bring on somebody to replace the advisor, yourself. And that means that now you have these 2 people either side, and then maybe 2 people giving advice, you and another advisor, allows you to then take off some time to focus more on being the operator of the business, overseeing the whole lot, whilst the advisor just does the sales. That's a team of 4, and that's a solid team, £500,000 team, right there, just like that. So you can do that quite easily if done correctly. The problem, though, is that you are hiring, not you, I'm saying hypothetically, but most of us are just hiring because we want an admin. I'm going to just chuck them and they're going to be our dog's body to do everything that we don't want to do. We need to clearly define the roles and do not expect them to go above and beyond the role we ask them to do. We want them to be the best at their role, not a jack of all trades. We want them to be a master of one. Next one we have is training is the other half of hiring. If your onboarding sucks, even great people will fail. This is brutal but true. You need to be a good trainer. You can't just bring somebody on and then leave them to their own device. And I've seen people do this a lot. You don't want to do that. You need to get good at training. And this brings us right back to the very first one, because it's the cornerstone of everything, is your process matters. If you don't have a process and they're just following you behind, trying to catch up and clean up all the mess like a whirlwind that you go through, then it's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. And you're not a business owner. You're just somebody who is, you're a charismatic kind of whirlwind, like I said, but you're not really a business owner, because business owners have structures and processes and systems. And if you can have a system that you can say to somebody, this is how we do it, this is what you say, this is what we do, and there's complete, clear operations of business, how we do it, then it makes it so much easier for them. And then they know what they're measuring against. If they don't know what they're measuring against, they're just measuring against whatever you've decided you're going to do that week, it's horrendous. And some of you listening to this and watching this will know that's you. You'll know it's you who go, I don't have a clear point of this is what we do. That's so important that you have that. It's so important that you have a process and a system before you bring people on. If you don't, you will never, ever get time to do that. Get it right and train them and take responsibility to train them. If they can't do the job and you haven't trained them, that is your fault. If they can't do the job and you have trained them, that is their fault. That's how you notice if it's a skill gap or not, or a culture fit. That's your call. But you have to be really good at onboarding people and understand that is your job. Even if they have 2 years experience, don't hire for potential, hire for actual skills. Yes, but you still have to train them in how you operate. Don't just bring them in and go, yep, cool, plug and play. It doesn't work that way. You have to onboard them into your culture. Which brings on to the next one, which is a good hire takes ownership. If they wait for you to tell them what to do every time, they're probably not the right one. Now, yes, like I've said, it's your responsibility and it's important for you to be the good leader for them. But at the same time, it is about making sure that they are proactive in their own right. They do have to have ownership in the business, especially in these small companies. If you are a one-man band or like 2 to 3 people within the team, that is a startup business. It's a small family-run business. And because of that, they will have more autonomy in what they do. And I do think this is important, that if they don't show that and they kind of treat it more like a 9 to 5 and clock in and out, they are probably not the right fit, because they will be better off in a large corporate company where they can clock in and clock out. At your level, you need them to really be feeling and wanting to do more within the business, because it gives them energy and power and ownership and autonomy over what they do. And I think that is something to look out for over a kind of 6-month period. Once you've brought them on board, are they starting to think outside of the box? If they are, wonderful. If they're not, I'd probably be looking into why not. And number 15 is culture is shaped by you. How you show up sets the tone for how your team will act. Your culture is everything. The way that people perceive you all comes down to how you decide to appear in the business, act in the business. And this comes down to when things are good, but also when things are bad. When things are bad, are you running around like a headless chicken and thinking it's doom and gloom? Or are you a strong front showing them that everything's going to be okay? That type of energy does pass down. How they feel and think is important. It's similar to bad-mouthing competitors, talking about people within the space, talking about other employees if you have them. Your culture on how you treat clients, how you treat staff, how you treat yourself, how you view the business, that has to be led by you. And if you've got a poisonous culture, and maybe you might have, and it's not okay, but people have it, and we need to address that. But you have to look and go, okay, is it a me problem? If they're not doing well, maybe it is a you problem. And I have to do this myself, even with my clients. My culture is for people, when I work with people, my culture is what you sign up for, and how I react. If they're not acting how I would like them to react over a number of months, maybe even a year, I will start to look and go, what am I doing wrong? There is an element of ownership that it all starts with you. How you come across, how you show up every single day, and good and bad, dictates how your staff and your team will follow. Brings you on to number 12, which is outsourcing should be temporary, not a long-term strategy. If it's a core function, build it in-house eventually. This is very important in general. Like I said, I'm not a fan of outsourcing at all. I think that outsourcing can be good at the beginning if you're figuring it out. But let's say you want to run ads, learn how to run ads yourself, bring it in-house. If you want to do your own marketing, learn how to do it and do it yourself. My entire business model is built around this. I teach a man to fish, not give a man a fish. It's why I'm not a fan of done-for-you marketing services. It's why I'm not a fan of necessarily outsourcing administration long-term. It doesn't mean that I think they're bad, but please don't. A lot of my friends are people who do those jobs, but my actual personal opinion on it is you should be able to do it yourself. And the excuse, which you do hear people say, and my competitors will say that, and they should, because they're selling that stuff, but they will say that you don't have the time and your job is to focus on doing the business and my job is to look after the marketing. No, your job is to run a business. And that means know how to market it. You can't have a business if you can't market it, because marketing is lead generation. If you, and this is a real harsh truth on this one, if you think, if you're like, oh, I don't really want to market, I just want to do the lead generation, then I just want to do the sales, well, then go and get a job, because you're an employee. A business owner learns how to generate leads and build a brand. That's a business. A business is a brand. If you want to outsource that, and you don't want to bring it in-house, you don't want to take ownership yourself or have someone in the team that's going to do it and you're going to pay them and you're going to work on it together, then go and get a job. Just do it, because you're playing at it. And it's so true, and it'll ruffle some feathers, and I'm sorry, but it's exactly that. You've got to be very careful when we see this, and we see it all the time. It's a losing mentality. Fix it and you will be so much better. It's why a lot of my clients that you see are doing very well. And the reason they do well is because they take control. It doesn't mean all of my clients are doing their own videos. They have people in their teams doing their videos. They have people in their teams editing them. They have stuff happening, but they are at the nucleus of it. They're the nucleus of it. They're the center of it. They are still in control of it all. They're not paying for it and not having to worry about it. Because when you pay for peace of mind, if I don't have to worry about it, you are paying for the luxury of going, do you know what? I just can't be bothered. It's like drinking a greens drink. Eat some food. It's the same thing. We know it's not right. We know it's not good. But we do it anyway because it makes us feel better. We're just cheating that. It's the AG1. Don't be the athletic greens of our industry. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, you definitely want to check out that 25 brutal mortgage business lessons for you. I'll put it up on screen right now.